diocese of Ekiti-Oke. And we appreciate as many members of the family that are here to be with us.
Hello. Bobo. Go on.
So, what we want to do is just celebrate this great man. How do we celebrate him? From his voice, Ogun Baba Ayọ Ogunlade Onlefegbo. Though I will be the one to narrate, but he spoke and documented. Here I put it as food for thought. Food for thought. Quote, the challenges of surviving the next 100 years as a united, happy, prospering, and progressing Nigeria, unquote. Legacy of Ayọ Ogunlade OON, July 29, 2013. That's what we just want to bring out. Then we ask for your permit, if agreeable to the family, to have this published. We reproduce the booklet as part of the packages for the funeral rites. Then we pray the family will be able to get this into Aso Rock, the House of Assembly, and let all politicians have it in hand. The mind of this great man, when he thought, he thought of our well-being in this country when he spoke here. This happened at the inaugural lecture and foundation lecture of the Diocese of Ekiti-Oke. We were thinking along with the country, celebrating 100 years of Nigeria. Then in 2013, thought, how do we get somebody who will really challenge this nation? Then Olubowale said, Baba, we do the good job. We contacted him and he accepted and put his thought down. So I will read through it, but it is his voice. It is his work. That's why we are here. After that, we pray with the family. Before that is apology. I know I should have been here, or we should have been here earlier, but we came back last night. It's been on the road with our country. It took me over 26 hours between Ekiti and Abuja in this nation. So, Inkuleo, are we ready to listen? Please sit down. Carry arrange. Okay. So we begin with this hymn. For all the saints who from their labors rest, who be by faith before the world confessed, thy name, O Jesus, be forever blessed. Hallelujah. Ní Yorùbá, fún àwọn ènìyàn rẹ tó lọ sí mi, àwọn tó fi ìgbàgbọ́ jẹ́wọ́ rẹ, ká yìn orúkọ rẹ Olùgbàlà. Hallelujah. Who will be calling it? Okay. So, shall we start to sing it? Ẹ̀yin ìyá wa ẹ jókòó. La 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 la.
Fáwọn èèyàn rẹ tó lọ sí mi 46.
Fáwọn èèyàn rẹ.
Àwọn tó fi fáwọn èèyàn rẹ tó lọ sí mi.
Àwọn èèyàn rẹ tó lọ sí mi.
Àwọn tó ní ìgbàgbọ́ jẹ́wọ́ rẹ̀ kan.
Àwọn tí wí gbàgbọ́
Ká ní orúkọ rẹ olùgbàlà. Táwọn àtòdí wọn.
Ìwọ làpáta àtòdí wọn.
Ìwọ ni balógun wọn lójú ìjà.
Ìwọ ni balógun wọn lójú ìjà.
Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ òkùnkùn wọn.
Ìwọ ni
láyé.
Jẹ́ kí àwọn ogun rẹ̀ láyé.
Jagun ní tòótọ́ báwọn ti gbálé.
Jagun ní tòótọ́ báwọn ti gbálé.
Wọ́n lè gba dé ògo bí wọn.
Ìwọ̀n lè gbà dé ògo bí wọn.
Hallelujah. Lẹ́yìn èyí ọjọ́ ayọ̀ kan ń bọ̀. Àwọn mímọ́ yóò dìde nínú ògo. Ọmọ ògo yóò wà láàrin wọn. Látòpin ilé àti látòpin òkun. Ogun lọ́gọ̀rún gbogbo dè ènìyàn tó wọ́n yí bàbá ọmọ àti ẹ̀mí mímọ́.
Àwọlé bá yín ní orúkọ ti Bàbá àti ní ti Ọmọ àti ní ti Ẹ̀mí mọ́. Please be seated. Kì í ṣe wọ̀ fẹ́ jókòó sẹ́rin àwọn àlùfáà óyá. Please óyá. The struggles of living together for 100 years and the challenges of surviving the next 100 years as a united, happy and progressing Nigeria. Lessons from contemporary issues of national interest. 9th Foundation Lecture presented by Ààrẹ Ayọ Ogunlade, OON, on the occasion of the 3rd session of the 3rd Synod of the Diocese of Ekiti-Oke, Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, held at the Cathedral Church of St. Andrew, Ushi-Ekiti, Ekiti State, on Monday, 29th July 2013. Under the protocol, he expressed himself and gratitude to God and to the nation. We move to page 3. Why Nigeria need to remain one united country. That's according to Baba, whom we are celebrating. Nigeria's amalgamation expires on January 1, 2014. Oh, please let me go back. According to Baba, we shall interrogate the issue of transformational leadership as a catalyst for an enduring Nigerian unity from the beginning of our 2nd century of existence since amalgamation. That is starting from January 1, 2014. Up to now, much of the solutions offered for Nigeria's unity have been clothed in power politics, their company benefits, and the glamour of office, rather than altruism that is the real essence of selfless service for the greatest good, for the greatest number of Nigerians. The core argument of this presentation, therefore, is that a proactive reorientation of the thinking of Nigerians, especially the leadership, is required to revolutionize our path to national unity, harmonious living, and national cohesion. This presentation is divided into 5 parts. The first part will address the issue of one united Nigeria and canvass the need for it to remain so. The second will address the role the leadership need to play in order to keep Nigeria as one united, indivisible nation. The third part will highlight the fundamentals of the need for a new united Nigerian structure. The fourth will address the issue of understanding that a truly united Nigeria can become a reality only if Nigerians learn to accept that we are indeed diverse in every sense of the word, culturally, philosophically, educationally, etc., and determined to exploit the positive aspects of, quote, unity in diversity, unquote. In the 5th part, Baba says, or he said then, I will endeavor to draw conclusions from our past, present, and our future expectations for our children and our children's children. Why Nigeria need to remain one united country? Nigeria's amalgamation expires on January 1, 2014. The amalgamation of the protectorates of the northern and southern Nigeria and the colony of Lagos by the British government was to be experimented for 100 years to know whether or not it is going to work. According to a secret government document the British left behind after the independence, although the document is kept secret, this fact is known to the ruling class. Most professors of politics, political science and law, and with the wonders of the internet, the facts are readily available to many people all over the world. It is therefore in the public domain. Nigerians need not fear disintegration because the so-called, quote, experiment, unquote, has worked. In spite of our ups and downs, including a 3-year fratricidal civil war, there are far more compelling reasons why Nigeria must remain as one sovereign nation under God. According to the world-acclaimed authoritative publication, the World Almanac and Book of Facts, 2013 edition, page 820, the current population of Nigeria is put at 170,123,740 people, with 250 ethnic groups. No Nigerian will not brim with pride when he or she hears people all over the world say 1 out of every 5 black persons in the world, in the whole world, is a Nigerian, while 1 out of every 4 on the African continent is a Nigerian. These and many other statistics were probably the reasons for planning a centenary celebration. I have nothing, that's Baba mind, against a Nigerian centenary celebration, quote and unquote. Staying together as a nation for 100 years is certainly worth celebrating, but I would have suggested that part of the millions of naira that had been voted for the fiesta had been used for reviewing the army legacy, the 1999 constitution, and also utilized in organizing a massive door-to-door, village-to-village, word-to-word campaign with the slogan, quote, "Say yes to Nigeria to continue forever," unquote. I confess that I would have struggled to be among the frontliners of that campaign. I guess it is still not too late, because we still have 5 whole months before the D-Day of January 1, 2014. The roles leadership needs to play in order to keep Nigeria as one indivisible nation. According to Baba, leadership, like management, involves setting goals, formulating policy, and managing resources for the greatest good of all concerned. For Nigeria, with 250 ethnic groups, how the management team is formed can pose daunting problems, because for every composite part of the nation to have confidence in the management and loyalty to the nation, the component parts must have representation at the policy formulation and policy execution levels of the management. Herein lies the virtue of the federal character policy. The need for the federal character policy arose from the fact that Western education, in quote, which is the bedrock of all our policy formulation and execution today, reached different parts of the country at different times. Some parts of the country had university graduates in various disciplines, law, medicine, engineering, etc., more than 100 years before other parts of the same country. Federal character is another word for what in the old arithmetic of our days was called LCM, lowest common denominator. The quote bad unquote side of the formula is that seniority and accumulated experience suffer, but there is a cut-off point, a minimum acceptable level of education and experience which an individual must possess to hold certain positions at the policy formulation and execution levels in the leadership team, in administration, judiciary, and tertiary institutions, etc. It is a pity that the policy designed to ensure that all sections of the Nigerian corporate body are adequately represented at the policy formulation and execution levels were observed more in the breach than in obedience. Political considerations are usually blamed for the breach, and there is no sign of an expiry date for the quota system either in the breach or in the reality to usher in the day of merit for all and global competitiveness in all for optimum management. The need for a new political structure for Nigeria. According to Baba, as a nation, we had abandoned our pre-independence and First Republic parliamentary system for American presidential system. There is nothing wrong in our deciding to opt for the American presidential model of government by Second Republic in 1979. But it was a serious oversight for us not to have followed the wisdom in the adage of our elders that, quote, the size of a bird determines the size of its nest, unquote, or to find out what the Americans would have done with their system of government if only they had the opportunity which we have of starting afresh. I had the opportunity of hearing this from an eminent American professor at Yale University, New Haven, Connecticut, Foreign Students Institute, presided over by Professor George Springer in 1962. The eminent professor spoke of certain obvious flaws in the American presidential model which political interest and democratic process had prevented from being corrected. Features of the system like A. The American president, the world's most powerful head of state, economically, militarily, socially, etc., does not become president by the popular votes of Americans, but through an electoral college system. B. In the 2-4-year term, those who are lucky to have a second term are effectively president of USA for 5 or 6 years. depending on where they lived before becoming president. C. The fact that only two political parties dominate the political scene, while others are treated as pressure groups or lobbyists. Again, the second century Nigerian structure should take into consideration the following comparative data relative to Nigeria and the United States. It gave the tabular population, the total land mass, the government, up to the cabinet, the number of senators. The interesting thing is that number of states, we have 36 plus FCT, while America has 50 plus Washington, D.C. The GDP for Nigeria is 418.7 billion, while that of America is 5.3 trillion. The number of senators for the big America is 100. For Nigeria, 109. Now the Nigerialized, that's Papa's coinage, the Nigerialized presidential system, as we have run it in the second and this third republic, is more expensive and burdensome financially than for the Americans we have chosen to copy and show a few tricks and luxuries they have indulged themselves in. To conclude this session of my presentation, let me remind you of the opening remarks of the section, that there is nothing wrong in choosing to adopt the American presidential model, but we should have followed the wise adage of our elders, that the size of the bird dictates the size of its nest. If only we had done so, the country may have been saved the burden and stress. This paper, because of our elders, let me move to another section. In the Nigerian system, some of the states depend on monthly federal allocation for up to 75% to 80% for their existence, while some local governments depend almost 100% on federal allocation. We have just about 20 odd weeks to go and are moving fast towards the end of the first century of amalgamated Nigeria. I move again to another section. Baba says the federal government is too remote from the local government to play any knowledgeable, constructive role in local government administration. The state should be free to ensure that the local governments, which are the component parts of the state, are looked after as individuals take care of their bodies. The states may advise the federal government on the allocation formula for the local governments from the federal funds as they may appreciate more the patterns of needs in their local government. Let me read out this aspect. from page 12. Issues for further consideration. 1. Pre-amalgamation. The British colonial reign. 2. Why the amalgamation? 3. Post-amalgamation in the post-amalgamation rule in the regions and the intrigues of the British and the extent of the level of integration of the people. 4. The nationalism and independence struggles spearheaded by the South and the reluctance of the North and their reasons for it. 5. The struggles with political, tribal, and religious and cultural diversities. 6. The purposeful but fragile independence and the republics. 7. Nigeria of the First Republic, the first military interruptions in the first 2 coups, the Civil War, the Gowon days, the Murtala/Obasanjo era, the Second Republic, the second coming of the army from Buhari to Abdul Salam, and this Third Republic. 8. The constitutional experimentations in the making of a struggling Nigeria, the parliamentary, the military, the diarchy, the presidential. 9. What are the fears and key issues being raised by the geopolitical zones and the ethnic nationalities? The Fulani Hausa, the core northern minorities, the Middle Belt, the Christian constituencies in the north, the Yoruba nation, the Igbo nation, the Cross River nations, the Ijaw, Ogoni, and Riverine and Delta nations, the Benin and Mid-West region, the Sharia debate. 10. How can we accommodate all in our harmonious and united Nigeria? What will satisfy these entities? What will give them confidence and assuage their fears? 11. And then, what are the gains of a united, working, functional, federated or confederated Nigeria that has been promoting the song and slogan, quote, to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. Now, however, there are many unanswered questions we ought to clear. Answer. What is the what, the why, and the how of the oneness? And then, for what purpose? And for whose interest? Now, who has made the greatest gain or loss? What are the recurring complaints and resentments against the oneness? All the issues listed above can form the basis for another lecture. But for now, let it be food for thought for all Nigerians who are serious about the future of Nigeria. Let us now, as we close, go back to the key issues of the challenges of surviving the next 100 years as united, happy, prospering, and progressing Nigeria. Sincerely, it is so loaded, and when Baba concluded, he concluded with some of these words. Considering my observations thus far, I do not think it is too late to have a rethink on the issue of having a second century new constitution, of the democratically elected representatives of the people, for the people, that will fulfill our dreams of surviving the next 100 years as a united, happy, prospering, and progressing nation. So, he was a man with a body for the well-being of this nation. He put this down. Ó kò sọ wọ Nàìjíríà. Ṣé á gba ọ̀rọ̀ yìí lò? Ṣé á fi ṣe àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ ó dé bá wa báyà àbí kò dé bá wa? And solution tá ń wá, kò sí ọ̀nà àbáyọ, kò sí ọ̀nà míì àfi tá a bá mú àwọn nǹkan tí bàbá yìí wọ́n sọ sílẹ̀. Without that, sorry, Nigeria has no headway. And he spoke from experience. How many times as a minister in this country? Yeah? 3 times. Okay. And by his profession, gbogbo ìròyìn, àwọn ló monitor ọmọ ìròyìn jáde-jáko orílẹ̀-èdè out of that. How we wish we have more of sons and daughters of the church. Yeah? So we are asking that we publish this, make it available as if he did not live for nothing. He did not live for self. Wọ́n gbé bọ́dì Nàìjíríà sọ́kàn. Ó wù wọ́n pé kó dára, kó dára. Wọ́n ti ṣojú ṣe tiwọn. Government may not have this record, but the church has it. Eh? So we want to push it out. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń bá yá ẹgbà. Ohun tí bàbá ti sọ sílẹ̀, ohun tó ní ká ṣe nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yìí nìyí o. Eh? So, okay? Tó, ṣé ẹbí gbà kí dáhùsì sùn fún ìtẹ́lẹ̀? Yeah? So it will be certainly need to distribute. So that's the man. We as clergy, we have come to celebrate him. This is our own way of celebrating him.
No, I didn't put on any weight.
Myself? Or himself? Baba?
It's all right. Ọ̀rọ̀ leadership, ọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kò sí àti ayọ̀ kì í sọ. Ọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, please, write your pen.
It's okay, sir. Sorry.
No, ìdí tá a fi wá nìyí. Ẹ sọ fún wa, káyé gbọ́.
Sir.
Ẹ jòkó ìyá.
Ṣé rí gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ sọ yìí? Mi mọ ibi tá a ti lè fọ́ ọ̀jẹ̀ kò sí. And the man lived to try and implement what he has spoken here. It saddens me wípé àwọn problems yẹn ṣì wà. Gbogbo ètò identify ló ṣì wà. Gbogbo nǹkan tó yẹ ká ti look into 100 years of what? Kí la ti achieve? Kí la wá lè ṣe ń sìn òun ló kàn? As a church, kí ni ìṣe tèmi ti madam lórí ti nurse Dúpẹ́? Kí la lè ṣe láti jẹ́ kí bí ṣe 50% nǹkan tó sọ bí kó ṣeé ṣe ká implement sínú ìjọ wa? Tó ó bá wa Christians náà kì í ṣe politics ní àṣọ ju wípé Nàìjíríà one Nàìjíríà kí la lè ṣe nígbà tí Nàìjíríà jẹ́ ìkan 1 out of 5 Nigerians. Ẹ wo Nàìjíríà kò ṣe tó just one of us. Àbí one out of 5 blacks ní Nàìjíríà.
Kò síbi jẹ́ dé ní àgbáyé jẹ́ ní rí.
Sáà ní rí. Ẹ wo DC kan pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń travel pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń travel gangan. Tẹ́ bá dé Oxford Street nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ gbàgbà street tó ti ń ṣe shopping ayà yín lẹ́nu ní pé dúdú bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dẹ̀ rí dúdú tán lẹ́ máa gbọ́ háwà yìí rẹ ìlẹ́ o nǹkan kan Yorùbá this time kì í ṣe black nìkan ó ti so dájú.
This Nigerians bá jáde they are reasonable outside o very loving. I remember my experience very early in flight me from Rome to Frankfurt, Germany, and boarding was so cumbersome. In Nigeria, look on in Nigeria, pàápàá ó ti catapult mi lọ síwájú, ó sì check me in.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, how to buy get taxi.
You see, so
ẹ̀rọ àtọ́ní taxi máa sọ Yorùbá débi tẹ̀ ń lọ.
So it's such ó dọwọ́ Ọlọ́run.
What mama is saying that gbogbo wa ló ní iṣẹ́ ṣe.
So ó ní wọ́n ti fi ṣẹlẹ̀ fún ìjọ and nǹkan tí ìjọ rò nípa ẹ̀ tí diocese rò wíwá tí orí mi ìpè tí ẹ̀ ń gbà yẹn. Let's be ahead of Nigeria in celebrating 100 years. Let us get somebody who knows Nigeria. Only Olufunke Òjò Baba will give everything to us. And Baba created it then free for the diocese. Lágbó àwọn tó wà ní Òǹgbà yẹn ẹ̀rọ̀dá government houses back to Abuja let this even guide.
Iṣẹ́ diocese wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ká wá láti máa ṣe.
Just to give those in authority now.
Yes.
Please have this in now. Ẹ tiẹ̀ ká kẹ́ gbọ́. Àwa ni ìyá náà ń jẹ.
Story rice cup too.
So that's how we have come to celebrate Baba to say we appreciate him. He lived well. He left a legacy. So ìgbà tí Jésù fi ìrìn àjò ẹ̀ nínú ayé yìí àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé he will be somebody tí wọ́n máa discuss kí sì ni documented life and events. So ibi tẹ́lẹ̀ máa from here now ìrìn àjò tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ lákọ̀tún everybody circulating it give it to people àmọ́ ẹni tí Ọlọ́run akàn tún fọwọ́ kàn pé ẹ mọ̀ gbọ́ nǹkan tí wọ́n ní a lè ṣe o ohun tí a jẹ́ and document àṣírí tí wọ́n ló wà yẹn wọ́n yìí fi pamọ́ kọ́ wà kọ́ in this Baba made it clear pé our houses were they are not the rightful people to determine the fate of this country constitutionally they are not. Àwọn tó ní agreement ní àwọn regions fún confederate nígbà yẹn it's the same regions that should what the protectorates that should come together and decide. We will get there. So congratulations that from this home actually flow for the peace, for the unity, for the progress of this nation. So any àfikún brethren, that's why we are here. We just thank God. Thank you. We just thank God for the life of who formerly ṣé kò tí late to write our.
No, it's not too late.
It's not too late. Okay. Sorry, gbogbo we've been up and I will put clergy put the date and so kí ni àwọn prayer points wa kí ni àwọn tí a máa gbàdúrà during which the ceremony ceremony ni wake burial will be ceremony and for the burial ẹjọ ẹ máa permit me thank God Baba Abe will be here Baba Abe and we equally want to examine ibi tí grave máa wà.
Okay.
Then before So we will examine the place and fix time that I will come for the dedication of the place. That date, what Tuesday? Money, ọjọ́ burial yẹn. Our program starts 10, Abi. Ekiti diocese. There's this Jesus Carnival. Committee has said I will be there to take charge of their Jesus Carnival. We told the prayer fixed date. So, Grandmas, need me to sit with you that day, but come back.
You have even delivered. We appreciate it.
Of course, ibi tí bàbá lọ, ibi tí gbogbo wa láti lọ ni. Ìgbà wo kò sẹ́dá tó mọ̀. Be prepared like the Boy Scout. Kó máa múra ni. Ọjọ́ ọ̀la yóò dára fún ìkọ̀kọ̀ wa. And from what he has done, ẹ mọ̀ gbé Nàìjíríà sọ́kàn. Olúwa ṣe ìyanu. Olúwa gbé ìrànlọ́wọ́ dìde. Okay, I leave Dean. Take charge of prayer.
Kí ló wá tó pẹ̀lú yín? Jẹ́ kí a gbàdúrà. Dídùn náà ni ìrántí olódodo. A gbé orúkọ yín ga fún ìgbáyé èyí tó ní àpẹẹrẹ, tó ní ìtumọ̀, tó ní ìwúrí, tó ṣe mú yangàn, tí yóò sì máa ní ìrántí fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún síbi tí a wà yìí. Èyí tí bàbá wa olóògbé ààrẹ Ayọ Ogunlade tí wọ́n gbé. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín torí pé nígbà ayé wọn mọ̀ yín, wọ́n sì ṣe ìfẹ́ yín. Wọ́n wúlò fún diocese, wọ́n wúlò fún Ọ̀yẹ́, wọ́n wúlò fún Ilupeju, wọ́n wúlò fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ekiti, wọ́n sì wúlò fún orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. A dúpẹ́ fún ohun tí ẹ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe nígbà ayé wọn. Bàbá gba ọpẹ́ wa. Àwọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí diocese lábẹ́ ìṣàkóso ti bàbá Bishop Rev'd Olubowale àti màmá Ekiti-Oke Margaret Olubowale, láti kí agboolé bàbá, láti kí àwọn màmá, láti fellowship pẹ̀lú wọn. A tó ti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ àpilẹ̀kọ èyí tí bàbá rán sí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní ọdún 2013. Bí wọ́n tilẹ̀ ti sùn, iṣẹ́ wọn ó ń fọhùn síbẹ̀. Agbórúkọ ọmọ yín ga, bàbá gba ọpẹ́ wa. Àgbàládùra pé bí ọjọ́ àti ṣe ìsìn ìkẹyìn fún bàbá ṣe súnmọ́lé, gbogbo àwọn ètò tó rọ̀ mọ́ bàbá ẹ gba ìṣàkóso. Ọmọ tó máa rìnrìn àjò tó wá sí ilé láti outside the country, gbogbo ibi táwọn ya ti wá ní apò orílẹ̀-èdè yìí, ààbò yín kò lè jẹ́ kó dájú. Àwọn tí awọ bàálù òfurufú, ọkọ̀ orí ilẹ̀, bàbá ààbò yín kó wà lórí ẹ̀. Àtòrí ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ nínú àwọn ìyá ọmọ méjèèjì, wọ́n di ara wọn lọ́wọ́ mú wípé bí wọ́n tilẹ̀ jẹ́ méjì lọ́wọ́ bàbá, ọ̀kan ni wọ́n ṣe. Ìfẹ́ náà yóò máa gbòòrò sí i. Olúwa yóò dá ọmọ yín sí. Agboolé ńlá, òun náà ni agboolé Ogunlade, lórúkọ ńlá Jésù, ẹ ò ní kó àkóràn. Gbogbo iṣẹ́ rere tí bàbá ti ṣe sílẹ̀ lẹ́yìn wọn kò ní díbàjẹ́. Bí a ṣe ń rántí wọn, à ń dárò, a sì ń yọ ayọ̀ pé wọ́n gbìgbà yìí tó ní àpẹẹrẹ. Ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa náà, ọdún tó kù fún wa láti lò láyé, ẹ jẹ́ ká lè ṣe ìfẹ́ yín. Nígbà tí òpin bá sì máa dé, kárí Jésù ká tó rí ikú. Gbogbo àwọn ètò, torí pé òkú yìí, òkú gbogbo Nàìjíríà ni, kò tí gọ́fọ́mẹ̀ntì tó máa wà involve ni. Ohun gbogbo yíyọrí sí ògo Ọlọ́run. Wọ́n àtàwọn adé ṣe ayé ìsìnkú tán, tí olúkúlùkù á máa lọ, táwọn máa padà sáyé wọn, táàpọ̀ ẹ̀yìn màmá. ẹ̀rù ní báyìí ẹ ò ní ṣọ̀fọ̀ lórí àwọn ọmọ ìka àbámọ̀ ẹ ò ní fi bọ́ ọ́nà ìrìnàjò yìí síwájú lórúkọ ńlá Jésù ọ̀làyò fi rọ̀ yín lọ́rùn nínú itinerary ti diocese event ahead adípé ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọmọ wa wọ́n múra sílẹ̀ fún 80th birthday kí ti bàbá tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lórúkọ ńlá Jésù Kristi ẹ ó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé o nínú àlàáfíà nínú ara líle nínú ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ ẹ ó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé kò tó sì jẹ́ ìpèníjà nípa ti àgọ́ ara ẹ̀yin màmá wa nítorí ọjọ́ orí ọ̀fẹ́ Kristi àtò fún yín ó lọ yóò lọ rẹ̀ gbé fún yín nígbà tí Jésù lọ ní John 14:27 ó ní àlàáfíà mi fún yín ó ní àlàáfíà mi ni mo fún yín kì í ṣe bí ayé ṣe fi fún ni àlàáfíà Kristi yóò máa bá yín gbé bí a ṣe máa fi yín sílẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀mí mọ́ Ọlọ́run kò ní fi yín sílẹ̀ o lópin gbogbo ilé ológo ohun mi ò mọ̀ rí oníṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kò ní fọ̀ sí wa káàbọ̀ sí ọ̀dọ̀ mi ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ rere Ọlọ́run máa jẹ́ ìpín wa ohun dáadáa rẹ̀ ti gbọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àpilẹ̀kọ bàbá since 2013 tó sì tó bá ìgbà mú àwọn tẹ̀yìn Ọlọ́run máa lò láti mú iṣẹ́ olákẹ́ gbé wọn dìde ohun tí àwọn náà ni pé àyípadà dé bá Nàìjíríà bó ṣe máa ṣẹlẹ̀ láwọn mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ṣe máa ṣe láwọn mọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn pé kò lè máa rí báyìí lọ títí láéláé bàbá àwọn ẹni tẹ̀yìn Ọlọ́run yóò lò lọ́nà tí yín olákẹ́ gbé wọn dìde gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá ti sọ document ó ṣe pàtàkì many greater revolution tó ti wáyé káàkiri àgbáyé happened because of documentation náà líléyìí tẹ́ pé àmọ́ pé ìran kan ń bọ̀ tí wọ́n á ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí pé no enough is enough àkókò náà bàbá jẹ́kúndé láyé àti àlàáfíà ní orúkọ Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa.
Àlàáfíà Ọlọ́run tó ta gbogbo òye ló pa yín láàyè àwọn ọkàn mọ́ ní ìmọ̀ fún ìfẹ́ ti Kristi àti ìbùkún Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ti Bàbá ti Ọmọ àti ti Ẹ̀mí Mímọ́ kó wà pẹ̀lú yín kó máa bá yín gbé nísìn àti títí láéláé. Ẹ ṣeun.